How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Yours truly, Duggers and Dig-ass Monster Hunters and Monster Hunties. We're back again with some more Monster Hunter Generations gameplay. And in this particular video, we are actually fighting the Tetsucabra. Now, before you say anything else, I do have other monsters that we need to fight that is within HR2. We will definitely get to them. I just want to do the urgent right off the jump, so that way people can see the urgent quickly. Because some people aren't going to go and find these hidden, quote unquote hidden monsters, because there's so many gathering quests and there's so many mundane quests in this game. In order to actually fight these monsters, you have to do these mundane quests in this game. So we're going to do the main ones first, and then if there's some hidden monsters, quote unquote hidden, we'll go back and fight those guys second. So anyway, this is the Tetsucabra. This will be your urgent for HR2. HR2? Excuse me, 2-star village quest, not HR2. That's something different. I think that's Blongonga, something like that. Anyway, here we are fighting Tetsucabra, and I'm using the aerial switch axe. Now, I'm gonna say this to you real quick, guys, real quick. I used the aerial switch axe before, but I wasn't very good with the switch axe. So much later on, I started using just the switch axe itself, mainly in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. When I started a new character, and I was just like hanging out, trying to, you know, get my rocks off there. Same with longsword, haven't used longsword years. And then when I just made a new character in 3 Ultimate, I just started using those two weapons. Now, I know that isn't a very good reference point to go off of, but it made myself feel a little bit more comfortable with the weapon as a whole. Had I not actually done this, it'd have been something very alien to me. So that's why when I used the longsword when I fought the Sub-Zero, it was not necessarily super easy, but I wasn't completely lost. And the same goes here when fighting Tetsucabra here. But I will say this, the aerial switch axe is broken. Let me tell you why. Now, I just got off the mount, right? And we all know how mounting in this game has been nerfed just a little bit, just a hair. Not too much, but just a hair. You know what I mean? The aerial switch axe, when you have your sword out, in sword mode if you will, when you do the jump, like the jump is a hit, and then when you swing it, that's a hit. Or that's a hit, not an hit. That's not English. Anyway, what I'm saying is that the aerial switch axe allows you to hit twice. And we all know what hitting twice on a mount does. More chance to actually get the mount. So if you're fighting anything solo with a switch axe and you use an aerial, you're in for some mounts, okay? It's pretty OD, especially for something as big as it is. Normally, the only weapon that would actually have multiple hits on a mounting attack would be something like the sword and shield, dual blades, things like that. Bigger weapons, they don't necessarily have the luxury of having that. So if you guys are a switch axe user, consider aerial. I mean, it's not that bad. Sure, you lose a lot of your axe combinations on the ground. You have no forward momentum when using the axe on the ground. I actually recommend against using the axe on the ground, unless you can really do it. Because I mean, the main thing that you lose is your ability to combo with the forward axe attack. You don't have that. Okay, you have to stand still and do the winding chop. Like sometimes I'll do it and I remember, oh yeah, I can't do that because that move isn't in here just yet. I mean, it's not in this particular this particular style. So you kind of lose a little bit of your mobility on the ground with the axe attack. Then again, your mobility on the ground will pretty much not your mobility, but your prowess on the ground is slacked up a bit when using pretty much anything within the aerial style. So if you're going to be on the ground fighting, I recommend switching over to your sword. Run with your sword combos will get you through all the ugly, because the sword combos are relatively the same. And if you're fair with your sword, you should be good. So just remember that the aerial switch axe is pretty broken, and if you're fighting solo, or if you're just fighting and use the switch axe at all, I recommend using it because it's very easy. You get 2 hits and you're a really hard-hitting weapon. You have your trans slash, which is a very good art as well, and once you topple the monster, you can use it. I mean, I used it a couple of times in here because it's just easy to get. It's an easy art to get. I mean, I get the mounts for free basically when you're in the sword mode, and you're gonna get some topples. I think I'll topple them like maybe four or 5 times. I think roughly 4 times in this one hunt. But anyway, that's the switch axe. We're not gonna talk about the switch axe anymore. Let's actually talk about the monster. We've been talking for quite some time, and there's a couple things in which we have yet to talk about. Now, let's just first say that the Tetsucabra hasn't really changed. So if you fought the Tetsucabra back in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, excuse me, not 3 Ultimate, 4 Ultimate, you're in good hands, because there's nothing really big about him that actually changed. So when it comes to his fighting styles, the things that he does, him pulling the rocks off the ground, grabbing a rock and jumping there and slamming down, causing a tremor, that's all the same. Nothing really in that respect has changed either. So his resistances would follow suit. So if you have something that's either water or thunder, you will be in good hands when fighting this guy. So a water weapon, which is his #1 weakness, thunder being his second. Early in the game, you might not have the availability to actually have these particular weapons, but if you do, go ahead, use them on him. I mean, you'll shorten your time exponentially. Now his armor, if you do so indeed to make his armor, I still recommend it, because one thing that he still does have is health. Health plus 20. By plus 20 I mean you get 20 additional points of health for free. And then if you can eat, maybe get another 20 points. It's like 140 points of health for free early in the game. So his armor is good. Has good defense as well. I mean, so if you can fight him often and you're down to fight him often, I recommend making his armor. I mean, if you're looking for a pretty solid armor to start yourself off with, you can probably run his armor all the way until you get to some of the flagship monsters, the Fated 4, if you will. So his armor is really good. His weapons aren't really like the best, but they do have really good attack. They are offset by relatively low affinity. But, I mean, if you're looking for a really high weapon, really good weapon for the time being, and some really good armor as well, his weapons aren't the worst, and his armor isn't too bad. So I would recommend his armor wholeheartedly. I would wholeheartedly recommend his armor, so totally go for it. But, other than that, I will say employ the standard strategies in which you would employ when fighting him. You should be relatively okay. First things first, stay away from his front. His front's where the bulk of his damage will come from. He's one of the fewer monsters of which their body itself doesn't actually act as a full-blown weapon. It's just his front. Stay away from the teeth, stay away from the front side, and he doesn't have a tail spin or anything like that. He is a frog, so if you just stay around the back away from his front, you should be relatively okay, because most of his attacks are mouth-based. He'll bite at you, he'll spit this substance from his mouth that you've probably seen a couple of times, where if you get hit with it, it'll do a little bit of damage, but it'll completely drain you of all your stamina, which isn't very good, because you can't run, you can't dodge, can't do anything, can't get away. You'll get hit by something large, and you have to take that. The rocks that he'll pick up out the ground, the very big ones, if he does that, don't fret. He's not gonna throw those or anything. He'll just pull them up. But the smaller rocks that he'll keep in his mouth, he'll do a multitude of things with it. He'll run around with it, he'll jump with it, he'll slam down with it, a couple of things, you know, just not too vicious with the rocks, but the rocks are definitely something you kind of want to like look at and say, okay, I should probably stay away from the front end. But if you can do that, if you stay away from his front end, dodge his rocks, kind of stay to the side, roughly around the back, aim for the tailish area or the back hind legs. You should be in relatively good hands. You should be, that's a very safe area in which to fight this guy. And when it comes down to weapons, what you want to fight him with, honestly, anything. I've had success fighting him with all the weapons. Everything. He's big enough for a bow. He's big enough for sword and shield and dual blades. It's actually great with dual blades. A great sword, you can never not go wrong with great sword for the most part. Long sword, he's long enough for most of your hits to connect, even when you do the spirit gauge in case you're slightly off course. Switch axe, as you're seeing here, putting the mat down on real nice. Charge blade is good. He's just any weapon is good to fight this guy with. Any weapon. But everyone, with that being said, that's pretty much all I have for you today in terms of, you know, a couple of tips, little tricks here and whatnot when fighting this guy. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you didn't, hit me with that dislike, and I would like to know why. I'm down for constructive criticism. Yo, see, I try to line it up. Hold on. I try to line it up just right, so that way, just the burst hit him. That's what I want. I wanted the burst just to hit him to kill him, so I knew he was about to die. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the video. If you like it, if you don't like it, it's cool. You know, I'll take constructive criticism or even the deconstructive criticisms. I'm going to be trying to make 3 videos a day until the monsters get very hard and the monster parts get very hard to come by. Like the Fated 4, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna make all 4 of their armors, but that's probably gonna be over the course of 2 days. if I don't decide to stream or something like that, but whatever. Anyway guys, it's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you all for watching this video, and as always, may the desire sensor forever be in your favor.